Now to our history report and a look at an American hero from the Rio Grande Valley. He was a central figure in the Spanish-American War who served under U.S. President Theodore Roosevelt. Cameron County Historical Commissioner Jean Fernandez brings us more on Juan Alamia.
Time travelers, we're going to step back into the year 1898, and it's going to concern this particular individual that was from the valley. The valley is full of heroes, unsung heroes that went on the world stage, and this was one of them, Juan Alamia. He began his life at the centennial for the United States, which was 1876, in Port Isabel. He was born in Port Isabel. Now, all the time coming up to the turn of the century at that point, there was a skirmish going on down in the Caribbean Sea, and it involved Spain and Cuba. This was their push for a revolution for their freedom from the oppressive powers of the Spanish colonial kingdom that they had. The war that developed out of this was the Spanish-American War. It was the United States against Spain, but of course, in this particular case, it was for the freedom of Cuba. Going up into 1898, Juan Alamia was mustered in to the cavalry in San Antonio, Texas. That was Fort Wood. He went through his basic training there, and then he was shipped out of Tampa, Florida to go into the big action for the battles that brought Cuban independence. Now, his commanding officer was none other than Lieutenant Colonel Theodore Roosevelt, who became a future president of our United States. The group that he was in was the famous Rough Riders, who went over San Juan Hill and did all of the cavalry work that brought in the victory for the Cubans at that point in time. We're going to go on up into the period of the Mexican Revolution, and Juan signed up for that. He signed up for what was called then the Army Intelligence Corps. It was basically a spy for the United States against Lucio Blanco. And there you have the beginning of the Mexican Revolution. He met Juan Alamia, and Juan Alamia was in the private service as a telegrapher during the beginnings of that war. Now, Lucio Blanco asked Juan to send a message to Mexico City stating that Reynosa was all calm and let's go ahead and send the forces in, and that would be an ambush for the federal forces. Juan did not like that because he was opposed ethically to that was going to be a slaughter for the forces that were coming into Reynosa. He sent a message that was to the contrary, and the forces were ready for Lucio Blanco, and a very big skirmish took place. So Juan Alamia unfortuitously met up with Lucio Blanco later on after the Battle of Reynosa. And it was Lucio Blanco that asked Juan and his entourage to join up with Lucio Blanco in his forces to go into the Battle of Matamoros. But Juan did not want to do that, and so he declined, and his buddies did the same thing. Now, Lucio Blanco at that point in time didn't have any patience for anybody that wasn't going to be on his side, so he took all of those men and summarily executed them. He executed Juan by hanging him in a tree, in a mesquite tree behind the ranch house that was there. The ranch was called Los Scorpiones. The American contingent in McAllen saw that Juan had not arrived back from his mission, and so they sent another person from the army into Reynosa in order to look for him. He went to Lucio Blanco not knowing how Lucio Blanco was without any kind of conscience. This particular army officer talked to Lucio Blanco, and he said, I come over here looking for some horses that belong to some American people. And Lucio Blanco says, I don't have any patience for American people at this point in time, and I'll show you how. So he led this particular army officer back behind the ranch house, and there was Juan Alamia hanging from a tree. The army officer was horrified by this because that was his friend. He went back and reported to the military base there what had happened. So Juan Alamia gave his life to the service of his country. So you can see what kind of valor we have here that's represented by the people from the valley that went out and joined forces to combat tyranny for one form or another. And the rest is history. I'm Eugene Fernandez for KVEO News.